Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. This will be a meeting of the Executive Board, March 6, 1968, St. Joseph's Infirmary.
Will please come to order. We do have a quorum, and I wonder if at this time we could all stand and have Ms. Hennett to have prayer for us, please.
Our Father, we're conscious that thou art God, that thou dost love us, that thou hast made abundant provisions for our every need. Bless the cause that we serve, bless our leadership. Direct the course of our lives, and we'll ever be grateful to thee. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Hennett. We'll have the roll call by our secretary.
Ms. Pope,
Present.
Mrs. English,
Present.
Ms. Hammond, Ms. Mays, Mrs. Garland,
She may come in later. She have another meeting.
Ms. Hudson, Ms. Wells,
Present.
Sister Liz Mary, Mrs. Grace, Jackie Grace,
She can't come today.
Mrs. Stanley,
Here.
Ms. Mallory,
Yeah.
Ms. Rosencrantz,
I'm here in her place.
Ms. Rosina Wood, Ms. Wood, Mrs. Langford,
She may be late too.
Mrs. Hasty,
Here.
Mrs. Zerks,
Here.
Mrs. Honeycutt,
Here. Thank you. We have two sets of minutes to handle at this time. We had the regular meeting of January 9th, and then the call meeting of February 6th, which has been circulated, I believe. Is that correct?
If any didn't receive them, I have some extra copies.
Are all of you familiar with the minutes of our regular meeting of January 9th? And then we had the special call meeting on February 6th to handle some matters that were brought to the board by the Committee on Legislation. Is everyone familiar with the minutes that we're discussing? Are there questions? Hearing none, then we will approve the minutes as circulated. I would like to share with you at this time some communications. I'll pass them around. We get some advertisements and as well as other pertinent data, which I'll try to provide to you. On February 2nd, I had as president of the district a request from the state executive secretary to submit the report for March 11th meeting of GSNA Executive Board to the GSNA headquarters by February 20th, 1967 in order that they can be duplicated. Now, this report would be entered into the spring issue of Georgia Nursing. I personally, Carolyn Atkins and I worked on them, and on the 16th of February mailed it myself. I hope they got it. Well, I'm sure they did because I have already gotten a report in my minutes, or my reports before the board. So I'll share that with you. We seem to have lost the last one or two reports, I believe, that we've submitted, as well as a request that you come prepared to the board with suggested names for candidates of the American Nurses Association, and we've included that in the agenda for the new business today. So I passed the report around. It will be our report, and if you have other ideas or information that I should take to the board, we'll take that up at the end of the, in the new business. Have an advertisement regarding a new motel. At the last legislative meeting, we did follow through with the letters, and we had one reply in writing. I believe our Committee on Legislative had other replies. I will share with you the letter from the legislator, Mr. Walt Davis.
I think you had at least 10 or 12 to come in,
Yes,
because we
sir.
followed them 2 or 3 at a time.
Dorothy Barfield, our chair of our Committee on Legislation, did have some communications from some of the legislative persons. I will share also with you the report we submitted to the GSNA Committee on Nominations for the Advisory Committee to the Practical Nurse Board of Examiners. Communication from Mr. McLemore regarding his serving on the last program of the January 11th meeting. Also from Ms. Ault, who served on that program. And then a communication, as Carolyn Atkins says, we have our own problems, but there's a group apparently of American women that are organized in behalf of the cause of the situation in Vietnam. So I will share that letter with you, and if there are those of you that feel that we should acknowledge in any way that communication, we will entertain it on new business. Take your time browsing through those things, and I believe those are the only communications that you or I have had since our last meeting. Have at this time a report of the secretary. Report other than resignation. Carol?
That's right. Sure has been nice being with y'all. I've enjoyed it.
You all.
I'm sure I will miss y'all too. You may have, I don't know if you've heard or not, we're going to be living in California. So I'm sure I'll be awfully homesick for you.
Oh, it's over.
And our January 9th, at our January 9th meeting, Carol did submit her resignation. She's being married, and she's marrying a fellow that will be in the Air Force, I believe. And then she tells us she'll be stationed in California. And Carol, on behalf of the board, we're going to miss you. We appreciate the real wonderful service. And we will need, as you know, at this meeting to appoint a new secretary. So we can do that. Report of the treasurer.
Fifth District report was for January. The audit was being made, but they did not get the report back. So it will have to be given in May, at the May board meeting. Is it May or April? May. Fifth District Federal State Nurse Association Treasury report for January 1967. Due to this board meeting being early in the month and the bank statement not getting back, it's impossible to have a February report. That's the reason I'm giving January. Brought forward from December, $990.51. Receipts, membership dues, $10,983. American Journal nursing subscription, $15. Miscellaneous, $78.50. Total, $11,076.50. The two together, $12,067.01. Disbursements, it's rent, salary, telephone, printing, postage, supplies for operation, American Journal nursing, taxes, GSMA, sent them $7,413.50. If we could keep that in our district, we could do something, because that's good help. And miscellaneous, $9,057.32. The $9,057.32 from $12,067.01 leaves in the bank $3,960. Checks out at the time this report was made was $5,336.19. It agrees with the bank statement, $8,345.88. And on deposit of the Atlanta Federal Savings, we have $4,085.87. I move this report be accepted.
Are there questions? Discussion? Then the report will be accepted and
We'll
placed on
have
file.
the audit for our next bid. This is the treasury report for the Register Committee for February. Rough Roberts in January 1967, $4,098.72. Membership dues and billheads, $2,772.05. Checks from the Community Council area, $2,500. Total, $5,272.05. The total of the two is $9,370.77. The disbursements was $1,356.86. And clearing the bank at the end of February was $8,013.91. I have the audit report for the register. After I finish this report, I have two copies. I'm going to put one on each end of the table that you people can glance over if you have to. The audit is made, I think they've added a new name. Touch, Ross, Bailey, and Smart are the names of the people that made the audit. Nurses Professional Register, 5th District, Georgia State Nurses Association, balance sheet, December 31st, 1966. Assets, cash, $2,444.16. Prepaid rent, $125. Furniture and fixtures, note, $2,592.71. Total assets, $5,161.87. Liabilities and nurses advocate. Unremitted payroll taxes, $252.58. Nurses advocate, $4,909.29. Total, $5,161.87. I don't know why they always list this furniture as it being new. It says, they have a note here at the bottom. It says, furniture and fixtures are shown at cost. No provisions have been made for depreciation. And I wouldn't give you $100, or well, I'll take $500 for the whole lot. And they have it down to $2,900 or something. But anyway. Statement of net earnings. Year ended December 31st, 1966. revenue. Dues, professional nurses, $14,100. Dues, non-professional nurses, $450. Billheads, $371. Total, $19,921. Expenses, salaries, $19,128.44. Supplies, $88.97. Telephone, $584.31. Rent, $1,500. Insurance, $120. Audit, $260. Taxes and license, $111.10. Payroll taxes, $889.83. Postage, $80.40. Flowers, $24.35. Total expenses, $22,787.40. Excessive expenses over earning before donation, $2,866.40. Donation from now this is wrong. It says donation from Community Council of the Atlanta area Incorporated, 5,500. That was the last year. It must read, and I'm going to take it up with the people, it should say through, because they did not give it to us. And we don't want that to be left on record as it coming from the Community Council, because it didn't come from the Community Council. So it just came through the Community Council. So, net earnings was $2,633.60. State and Little Nurses Advocate balance December the 31st, 1965, $2,275.69. Added net earnings as above, $2,633.60. Balance December 1966, $4,909.29. I move the two reports be accepted if there's no question. I'm going to put this down for you. Another one up.
Ms. Mace, we have can we handle the January report
Of the-
for the registry? Were there questions on that, not the annual report?
I gave the February. You want the January?
February, excuse me.
February.
That was February
Yeah, that was
for the
February.
register.
Yes.
Were there
They-
questions
It
on
was
this
fixed up
report?
today. They had just got the bank statement back where they could fix it.
If no questions or discussion, then we'll accept the February report and place on file. Now, to the auditor's report, we have really an error, do we not?
Well, it's just an error in one word. It says from. It should say through. Because they didn't, the Community
Do you
Council
wish
did not.
to adopt it as is, or do you
No,
wish to
no,
wait?
I think it
and
should be
correct it?
changed. Should be changed.
Is this in order? We've received the report, but we will not take action until it is correct. If that's
That's right.
all right. And,
Because at a later date, but not any of we people are present, something might come up about the Community Council giving us something when they didn't give it to
Well,
us.
they don't have a
freely.
dime. He says they are their own money.
Well, that's what I
Council does
say,
not have
so
one
that
dime
therefore
to
it
give
should
us.
not be worded that way.
then, by mutual consent here, then we will await consideration for
yes,
adoption until
strike
such
through,
time.
from, and put through, and that would take care of it.
All right.
You gonna get to all the.
Yes, I'm going to take care of it.
Thank you for those reports. Appreciate it. Report of the executive secretary.
Well, I've given you a little written report, and if I may, I'm gonna stand for once. I haven't done that in a long time for the simple reason I think you can help me. And instead of going into so much detail on what we have, you'll see that we have already cleared 517 members, but I want to show you how many I still have and why I can't clear them. And if you know these people, please tell them. Ruby Shepherd, a private duty nurse, we received the dues January the 31st. I sent her a notice. I sent her another notice on February the 23rd. All right, tell her that I cannot do a thing till I get this A&A form because it must go on her card. Sadie Harris, her dues was received on the 11th of January. We sent her a notice, and we sent her another one on February the 23rd. Same way with Ada Lee Hudson. She's an administrator, head nurse. And on January the 11th, we sent her a notice, and we sent her a second one on the 23rd. I sent everybody another one on the 23rd. Now here's one from Shirley Trawick, who is an instructor, and she's only had one notice, and that was on the February the 22nd. Now here's some, I won't show you my problem, so maybe you can help me with it. I feel like that's a better thing to do. First thing, when they came in, I'm going to pass my little card around too, Miss Pope, like yours. I had to design a card because there were so many things missing. Either checks weren't signed or the things they didn't send. So we got one and had it mimeographed, and I check off and tell them what they need to send. Then I sent them the notice. It was posted on the bulletin board. I rubbed out the postage. I also underscored in blue ink on here on the original directives on what to do with the ANA and sent those out. And then on the next go-round, we sent them a reminder that we've not received the requested information and that the clearance must have the division of practice, which you alone, they have to select that. We can't do it for them. We can guess at them on the private duty, but that's all. And the same thing is true on the Social Security. We can't even guess at that, so we have to have that. Anyhow, we sent them another general reminder on that. Now, even after all of those today, and this is what prompted me to do it, in the beginning, I sent them all envelopes with the names on it so I'd know it was the ANA form and that I could immediately get it away from the rest of the mail and clear it. Now, this girl has had a notice, all of those notices, in particular this last one, and here it came in today, and I still don't have it filled in down at the bottom. She hasn't put her school of nursing or anything, and yet she's called me about her card, why she doesn't get her ANA card, and even put it in blue. Now, there's one thing on here they don't understand about is why we put 5th District and state. Well, of course, you and most of us know that there are 50 states, that these will be going in ANA headquarters from any of the other 49. And member and associate has baffled them. A member is the active person, the associate is a retired nurse. And of course, I think the employment, that's all right. But the division of practice, we really must have that. The other I can get from the book, but I do not get the year of graduation. Now, for instance, this girl, after I looked through half a dozen things, I finally found that she's from Highsmith Hospital, Fayetteville, and a registration number in 1948 when she registered in Georgia, but I don't know when she finished. Now, I look back for what I had last year, and I thought, well, then, but the same thing is true. The very people that don't answer you one year, the same thing, see, this is blank. I could have referred to that. Had it been like Sister Gloria's, you see, I would have had all the information, and we've used this in so many of our death notices. We've had several emergencies that has happened, and Miss Stargills, you see, it's filled out, and I could get it from that. But we don't have on file 1,500 applications that have been in the office. We do have them since 1960, all of them. So now these I received today, and both of them had 2 notices. This one in January the 31st and February the 23rd, so I can go on and process those. That has slowed us down considerably in getting them all processed. It's made and we've had many telephone calls. I know it's confusing to them, but I thought perhaps if the group knew just how important it was to us, and we just absolutely, I'm getting all kinds of little notes about how long they've been a member, and criticism on how to spell enclosed, and also tell me how to take them out of notch 4 and put them in notch 3. Well, that happens to be our code in the district office when we first put out our punch cards, and most of those are they are correct, but That is true. I did. I had one. I had a little note on that from one of your public health nurses. Says, please take me out of notch 4. I belong in. No, out of 5, I belong in 4. Well, I started here with EATC administration, came on down, you see. And notch 5 is...
I don't know what notch I'm on.
I didn't know I was in a notch. Well, that's what it's just one of the things I'll do. And another one reminds me that I've spelled enclosed wrong to be sure, and she's got it in great big letters that big to put it in instead of IN. Well, legally, we understood that the IN was preferable, but anyhow, we do make mistakes. But at the same time, you can help us because we're still having trouble. Other than that, it has been busier than ever. I've been going down at 10 minutes to 7. Occasionally, I miss the first bus, and I'm there at 10 after 7. And I see no way of catching up for at least 2 more months. But we are busy.
Carolyn never gets us all in the right notch. She's got it. When she said she had all of these back, I was asking her about members. I was scared to death, and one of them was mine.
No, yours is correct, Ms. Dawn, and see, when they're right, we can mail ANA cards within 1 hour, but I have 143 changes of addresses, so I'm still waiting on Clayton. He brought me by special on Thursday evening, so we can send out notices.
How many of you had a meeting with your group and tried to solicit some help here?
Well, I stressed it at our last meeting. I in fact gave my blank to somebody. That's why I asked.
Well, I just talked to the public health nurses. I guess that's the only stupid one we've got, and I'll talk to...
Well, I put it on the schedule to get it was mine.
About it. I thought they were all so smart that they'd gotten theirs in right.
You see, when I first set it up, I started here with your sections, EACT, Administrative General Duty, just like ANA does, and right here with the Schools of Nursing. Starts off with Crawford Long, Emory, down the alphabet, and this one on here is
That's just clear
out of time. I know.
I think, I don't believe I better have to master that. Let me just tell them to write your sweet notes.
But, at any rate, I'm glad she's very observant, and I get a little laugh at her.
I'm going to ask for the next meeting too, and here's maybe she said enough.
We'll move to the report of standing committees. Program, Ms. Hammett.
Madam President, Board, we have a very exciting meeting planned for our regular meeting. Dr. Elbert Hall, who is a very outstanding professor in medicine, has considered to be our speaker. We've been dwelling on the deans this year, the electricity, etc. We didn't get in our title of our meeting dialysis, but it has the same connotation, renal disease and aortic ischemic metabolism. I would urge you to make every effort to be in attendance yourself and solicit your people. We have an invitation to professional nurses and students. Dear Dr. Tully, I'd like to see the Woodward Memorial Auditorium to capacity, hardly standing room. I do believe it is noteworthy people across the economy to hear him, to see him, and to have therapies extended in his department. So why should we not avail ourselves? He's a very outstanding PhD professor who has consented to bring our program on this next Thursday. Our May activities are taking very fine shape, and I believe we promise you an excellent commemoration in May 1967. So wait and notice.
May I ask Ms. Hammond, did I understand you to say he wouldn't touch on abdominal dialysis?
He probably will. I don't, he's
Well,
gonna give all of them.
I knew Private Duty was planning a program on the abdominal dialysis at the next, our next meeting, and I thought you said you didn't think he was
I think it's really rare.
Well, he may not. I'm sure he's gonna come and put a broad, but it's new innovation.
Well, we had a request for it, if we don't have one next
And it has such great depth, even if it says it's twice, you do well to get the third one.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond. Printing, Ms. Atkins.
We didn't have it printed. Get all our steps.
Bylaws, Ms. Hasty, Mrs. Hasty.
Oh, you know, I was all prepared to tell you something about the section. We had a meeting, the bylaws committee, on February 9th at 10 o'clock at the Fulton County Health Department. Following members were present: Ms. Garland, Ms. McGee, Ms. Jones, Ms. Hudson, Ms. Atkins, and myself. We considered the letter from Ms. Daisy Sinclair requesting consideration for part dues for semi-retired nurses, which of course had already been brought to this group, and we decided to send this letter to the Bylaws Committee of GSNA for advice. 6 copies of Ms. Sinclair's letter plus a letter from the committee chair was mailed to Mrs. Myrtle Tomlin on February 17th, and I have a copy of that letter attached to this report. The committee made mandatory changes in bylaws of 5th District GSNA relating to dues. The chairman was asked by the committee to contact Ms. Lewis, the parliamentarian, for a ruling as to whether these changes need to be voted on by the members. Since the changes are mandatory, Ms. Lewis ruled that these should be voted on by the members in compliance with the bylaws of 5th District GSNA. The membership should be notified of this change and a time for voting on it, as they are notified about the May meeting. We didn't see how we could get anything done any sooner. The voting can then be done at the May meeting. The committee agreed to meet again at the discretion of the chairman. It was felt that very little could be done until a revision of bylaws of GSNA to comply with ANA is completed. Should any proposed changes be received by the committee, we will then consider the advisability of meetings.
Let's change a word in there
Yes, ma'am.
to advise, remove,
Both places.
because, the reason, it's a mandatory thing, but because so many people do not understand it, we thought it would be better to let them see it was given to them and voted on the way the bylaws read, that a change in the bylaws is done. Actually, you can't do a thing in the world about it. It is mandatory and it's changed. You couldn't do a thing in the world about it, but just so they can see the procedure. And won't have the chance to say, well, you do it one way one time, another way the next time. But it would be brought this way, and that was the advice, so that they would see how it's done.
Really?
The information to go out on our next meeting notice card.
Yes,
And the reason is mandatory, you see. I mean, that's your reason for amending, is that it is a mandatory thing from GSNA.
But you're still just doing the courteous
Thing.
That's right.
no, I wanted to ask, Ms. Hasty, you will give Ms. Atkins that information so that our notices will carry that the bylaw changes, mandatory bylaw changes will be brought to the membership.
Yes, I don't need to put,
And then
we don't
that-
need to include what these changes are, because if they're there, we can't, that'd be a long notice. In other words, if you come to the meeting prepared to vote, you'll know what the changes are.
That'll be read at the meeting.
Yes.
Yes, they will be ready.
What the membership needs to be advised of is that we are going to vote. Is that right?
But they need to know that the article on dues will be
All right.
changed to conform to GSNA bylaws as to the state meeting.
What if they vote no?
It's not gonna do them any
That's
good
right.
to vote. You're just letting them see that this is the way. In other words, you're not trying to do something and thrust it down their throats. They can't do a thing in the world about it, but you're doing the courteous thing of going through the procedure.
And then people can't say we didn't know
That's
about
right,
this.
that you didn't know how to do it.
All right. Then at our May meeting, you'll have prepared the the articles that are involved with the changes so that these may be given and voted on.
It sounds like more work all the time. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, I have to work for a living. I can't work for business. Who's gonna do my home business?
Thank you for that report, Ms. Hasty. Then finance, Mrs. Mays, no report. All right. Legislation, Ms. Barfield.
60 letters went out to the senators, representatives,
The letters went out. We've had some reports. I have talked with Ms. Barfield, and the last time I talked with her, I wish any of the members of the board that have further information on legislative matters share them with us. At the time that I last talked with Ms. Barfield, the bill as relates to the change in the curriculum hours and the or the hours of the curriculum for the practical nurse program had been brought to before the legislative group. The last word I heard, it had not been cleared. It had not been voted upon and cleared to the House and Senate. So I don't know. This was the bill sponsored by the vocational educational group to bring the curriculum and the hours of the practical nurse students throughout the state and more in keeping with the curriculum of other states. I would tell you that being a member of the board, I did attend the 4 board meetings, which is now the 5 board group, and the boards of the GSNA did endorse this particular bill that would lend support. Now, the other bill that related to the licensure by waiver or licensure by examination of persons who had had experience as nurse aides in nursing home, to my knowledge, this has not come before the legislative group. I have had no report of this. And Ms. Barfield had said that she would let us know at such time. And
It hadn't been published in the paper that it's on the calendar yet.
it has not.
The other one has.
Yes. Do you have, Ms. Herbst, do you know the latest on the practical nurse curriculum? Have you heard anything?
No, I don't know that they've done anything yet.
As of
Now,
today.
someone called me and wanted some information, said that they were in a position that would see a lot of the legislators. It was a private university too, on duty with someone that all these legislators were coming to see them. And I tried to get in touch with several people and found out about Ms. Jones, and she said they were just sitting tight to see what they were going to do, that they had kind of given that okay on that, but they didn't want to see any other changes take place. They just wanted to see what they were going to do. So I didn't advise or say anything one way or the other.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll just continue to watch that and with interest, of course. Membership and credentials, Mrs. Dorothy Woods.
We have, in the report, on the special meeting, I gave the members present the 38 that were approved at the January 30th meeting of the membership committee. They also had a very good meeting on the 27th of February, and that's in your report today. So again, we have the courtesy. They approved the credentials and recommend them for membership, but in order to conform with our bylaws, it's up to the executive board to approve them. We had 4 reinstatements in the last group, 25 members with 4 reinstatements, and they are attached to your others. And I do have extra ones of the January the 30th. If there's anyone here that did not get one, they were mailed to the members not present.
We have 2 groups of we have two groups that this board needs to officially endorse for membership, do we not?
That's right. You have the one on the 30th of 38 members. I have some of those right here, if anybody didn't get them. Would you like Secretary to read them to the group?
Mrs. Ethel Owen. Is the name in there?
Just a minute, let me see what's the wish of the members. We have 38 from before for the January 30th. In other words, the membership committee has met twice since we met in a regular meeting to take action. So we have 38 plus, how many, Miss?
25 and 4 reinstatements on the 27th of February. There's 38 on the January the 30th.
29 then, and, 4 reinstatements, plus the 38 of January 30th. There's quite a list of them. Well, how do you all want us
Have
to?
they been approved by the membership committee?
They have.
I move that this board approve the approval of the membership committee.
All
I
of them
move that we
were
approve
approved at
these
that particular meeting,
members as listed.
pending on one recommendation which came in immediately and was excellent. So, and since that time it was brought back to the membership board and all of them were approved. There were no reservations on any of them. Most of them were certified by the directors of nursing service or the doctor's office.
I second the motion. We have the motion to endorse membership as approved by the membership committee. We have a second. Is there any discussion or questions about any of this or these?
What did you say? What would be?
Have a motion to endorse
That's right.
for membership those recommended by the membership committee. If that's in order. If there's no further discussion on this motion, then we will endorse the applicants for membership as recommended by the membership committee. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Then they will be officially endorsed as members of the district. Nominations, Ms. Sachs.
May I make a statement that in your report today, you do have the forms. We did not get them early enough to distribute them in January. In fact, I just got some of them last Thursday. And I have included 2 each for your files, a copy and one for us, and an additional one in case you should like to take it to your member meeting. And if you want any more, I have a few extra copies. And we will be giving this to Ms. Sachs in June, as well as to the Georgia State Nurses. We have to have it earlier than, in fact, last year they changed it to June 15th instead of July 1. I believe it's so much. That's for the section chair, the Senate We'll open the floor. Corndown Manual will open the floor for nominations Thursday. And then if you have any additional ones you'd like to give at the May meeting, in addition to the ones that you give through your section, still have an opportunity then and to get them in time.
All of you follow that. The section chair have received information as well as the appropriate forms to submit candidates to the nominating committee. And then also at our meeting on Thursday, the general meeting, the regular meeting of the 5th District, the members will have an opportunity to suggest names to go to the nominating committee. Registry Committee, Ms. Honeycutt.
The Registry committee met in the boardroom at St. Joseph's Infirmary on February 28th. The findings of the committee of the Community Council of the Atlanta area were discussed. The Registry Committee requested that the chairman write to Dr. Wilson and ask permission for the Registry Committee to study the final draft of January 10th of the committee, which was appointed to investigate and evaluate the Central Registry. The letter has been mailed. Ms. Vaughn's resignation was read effective March 1st. Because of the illness of her sister, she had to leave for Texas. She's the relief registrar. The financial report was discussed, and even though there are not enough funds at present, the deadline's March 31st for collecting fees to keep the registry open for a full year on a limited basis. The committee could not feel justified in allowing it to close without further effort to keep the registry functioning. The committee feels very strongly that the registry acts as a clearinghouse for newcomers, and nurses must protect the public from imposters and incompetents who drift in from other states. Therefore, the following recommendations were made. As a bit of explanation about a clearinghouse for newcomers, this previous committee who approves nurses to belong to the 5th district is one thing, but if all nurses had to belong to the registry in order to work, we would not have people just drifting loose who can just work anywhere and charge any amount they want to charge. I personally know of 2 or 3 things that have happened recently. One, a practical nurse was on duty from 3 until 11 with this patient who was dying, and the family asked her if she would stay another shift because they were not able to get nurses. And she said no, she couldn't. She was too tired. So the family said, well, if you will stay, we will pay you the $25 that we would pay a professional nurse. So they wrote out a check and left it, and she stayed. That's just one of the things that's happening. The recommendations are as follows. 1, replace Ms. Vaughn as early as possible. Until Ms. Vaughn is replaced, Ms. Hooker and Ms. Kellum will keep the hours 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. to work flat salary of Ms. Vaughn. Lucy Mace, and seconded by Emily Zerks, and the motion was carried. Ms. J. Calhoun Emery to replace Ms. Morgan on Registry Committee. Emily Zerks and Carolyn Morris. Ms. Mace has already given you the financial report. I believe we have about $8,000.
You had some recommendations to come for consideration. That was all you reported. Thank you. Have a recommendation to replace Mrs. Vaughn as early as possible. Until Mrs. Vaughn is replaced, Mrs. Hooker and Ms. Kellum will keep the hours 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and to work the flat salary of Mrs. Vaughn. Is there a discussion or question?
Is that keeping the registry open
16 hours.
16 hours?
It's the same as it's been.
Until how long?
Until we can get someone.
7 days a week?
We hope permanently.
How long can they do that?
That'll have to be worked out.
Well, we have about $8,000, and I believe we had approximately $19,000 last year.
No, I mean, how long can these 2 people work this kind of
March
time?
the 31st is what the motion was, I think. Isn't that right, Miss Mays?
What's that?
Wasn't it March 31st, or until we could get somebody?
Until we can get someone, so we're hoping to find someone.
That seems pretty indefinite. I hate to see anybody tied down to that kind of work. It's not very good
We
health.
hope it's not going to be indefinitely, and the pay's not worth
You need just a clerical
working those
person.
extra
No,
hours.
it's the relief registrar. that
What
we
I
need.
mean is what kind of,
Be
how-
placing calls.
what kind of educational equipment would she need to do the job is what I'm asking.
Well, she'd have to keep, records of, the sort of records that are kept up there that have to go on to A&A and financial records, and then place calls, just like the other registrars.
These people are nurses, aren't they?
Oh, they
Yes.
have to be a nurse to be a registrar?
Well,
That's what I
according
would
to our rules, that's the way it is now, but, that question has been brought up before. And it was pointed out that these people who were working at the registry actually were not making any more money than some person who was not, a nurse. You would have to pay them the same amount, and some of these people who worked at the registry could not contribute to nursing at all if they were not contributing in that way, because they were not able to physically.
Ms. Honeycutt, if it was designed for this, to utilize the service of people who could not, as you say, contribute to nursing otherwise, if there are no people of this nature available now, would a clerical person be?
What do you think, Miss Mays?
I didn't follow Mrs.
I was just
Hill.
saying, if there are no, are there any, apparently, we don't right now know of any nurses that need this kind of help, this kind of work. Would a clerical person be
No.
acceptable?
We've had that, and it was not satisfactory. The register had that, a clerical person. It was not, what's that? I think way back, they've always been nurses until, we'll say 4 years ago, something like that. And it was not brought to the executive board to put the person in, because you can go back.
Here's a recommendation from the union, we got several months
You
after
can
she
go
went
back
there.
into the records, and it was not brought into the executive board for the approval to put a layperson in. But this here is the person. But that, though, doesn't have anything, it's just they do not know, like a nurse, if you called, said, you know, that you wanted someone for a particular illness or something like that, a nurse immediately has some idea of how to start, but a layperson doesn't. And
Ms. Mays,
We found it out later after she was discharged, we got the recommendations, we did not have the papers at the time. And that's one thing I'd like to emphasize to this group, we don't have the minutes of a good many meetings that we've been having, and we need all official papers, that's getting away from it. But we did not get that recommendation until after she left the registry, and it was from the union.
I was at the registry committee meeting, and I had the impression from the nurses there that there was a person. It was a matter, Miss Vaughn left unexpectedly, right? And that Mrs. Hooker and Miss Kellum had agreed to do this.
they have
And are
until
looking for from
right.
that meeting,
That's
are
right.
they not?
That's
They
right.
have not found anyone.
But,
I think this would help clarify for the board members,
Uh-huh.
that help is being sought.
Well, when I brought that up, I wasn't just trying to be picky, because I think the question's not really whether we want a clerical person or a nurse. The question I was thinking about, I mean, I don't know the ages of these women, but I'd hate to see anybody tied down indefinitely to this kind of hours. And I think if we really pretend to know anything about good health and prevention of illness and so forth, that we shouldn't just leave these people open for this, because you know sometimes everybody's business is nobody's business, and pretty soon you find yourself hanging on to something that's just wearing you out, and then we've got 2 sick people. And I think as a group of nurses, we shouldn't do this.
feel that neither one of them really and truly are able to continue indefinitely.
You know, 7 days a week is,
Yeah, we
Well, the
do it all the
motion-
time.
Pretty
It's
regular.
not full.
The motion gives endorsement to replacing her as quickly as possible, as early as possible.
That's right.
Is there further discussion to that? I think what you're saying is we need to do this immediately and as soon as this is the content of the motion.
Madam President, do we have any question about their wage and hour law?
Regarding these persons
Payment
doing
of these
this,
people?
not to my knowledge. And I think that might be a good
professional
point.
people are not under that, are
It would,
Yeah.
it would determine.
Public health nursing.
See, this is something that maybe opens a whole new field here. How do these persons in the registrar come as relates, and it's our we have some responsibilities here to.
How much do they make, these girls?
310 and
Oh, they're way under.
not much anyhow. I mean, it's way down 3.
Miss Vaughn was
365.
365.
365
is what Mrs. Vaughn
And Miss,
And it's very hard,
410.
Yeah,
and it's
410.
very hard to talk to anybody for a salary like that.
No
So
wonder we
we'll
can't
have,
get
we're
anybody.
trying to find a person that wants to substitute their
Supplement
retirement
Supplementary.
income. And just because you have a few years doesn't mean that you've forgotten everything you know about nursing.
No.
That is
It
one
just means you can't stand up 8 hours.
true.
That's what I said about the clerical thing, because
What's that?
Lady over the State Department is a clerical person who's retired, and she needs to supplement her income. This is what made me ask originally about this sort of thing.
A lay person,
Right.
that you're talking,
Right.
well, if we kept that, we certainly will contact you. Because, as I say, this lay person, she was never accepted by the board.
Uh-huh.
Does she
And,
that kind of thing?
No, she didn't buy it. She didn't buy ours. Just details of all. She was not typing it in.
Is there further discussion regarding this recommendation?
For clarification, do the two of them work 8-hour shifts now?
Yes.
And that's 7 days a week instead
Yes,
of 5 days?
they
a
have
week?
committed themselves to work 7
They
days a week
have
until
offered
they're
it, and I-
replaced.
Itself,
Yes.
I feel the recommendation should be accepted.
I feel that
You
you
know.
shouldn't have it.
Are we ready to vote?
Is that contrary to the wage and hour? Because the wage and hour says 40 hours a week.
Miss, Wells, I was going, after we took action on this, I was going to raise or talk some more about what Miss Hammond has said. The last time I personally talked with people at the Labor Department, there has been no ruling or interpretation as to where the practical nurse falls within this. But we surely might look into the kinds of activities, and I think we may have some indication here or some involvement here as the kind of activities these women do in the registry, which really, we're saying they have to be professional persons. But the law, what the law sees as a professional and what you and I might see may have a different connotation. I don't think we can do anything with this recommendation at this time except endorse it. Try to get someone in there to relieve them of the situation. And then I think we have another issue is to look into what is the status of the people in the registry as relates to the Labor Department law. Now, I've given some thought to this, all of us have, and thus far we have no interpretation or ruling, to my knowledge, on this. but, maybe we should give them a specific situation and inquire. But the recommendations itself, I believe, if I might say this, we do need to endorse this so that we can do what we can get someone there to relieve her. This emergency situation, the relief registrar is left without notice because of the emergency, and then we need to discuss the other issue. Any further comments? And all in favor of the recommendation please, to replace Miss Long as early as possible, and until Miss Long is replaced, Miss Hooper and Mrs. Kellum will keep the hours 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. to work flat salary of Mrs. Long. They receive her salary. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Then the recommendation is accepted. Then we have one further recommendation, and then we'll move back to this other, that Mrs. J. Calhoun, who apparently does private duty at Emory, it says Mrs. J. Calhoun Emory to replace Mrs. Morgan on the registry committee.
You need to know her name on that.
Jeanette.
So my, what is it, Jeanette?
I think it's best they call her Jeanette.
All right.
May I write in Jeanette?
That Scott we had a while ago, there were 5 of them that had almost the same names.
Is there any discussion regarding this? Then all in favor of Mrs. Jeanette Calhoun replacing Mrs. Morgan on the registry committee, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. And that recommendation is carried. Now, before we leave, we should need to clarify, the board needs to have some understanding of this issue that has been raised by Ms. Hammett. Do any of you have any recommendations on how we might go about this?
Maybe everybody's like me, I don't know anything about it, I couldn't discuss it if I had to.
What I read in the AJN on the little yellow sheet seemed to clear us there, but I don't know, it may be my interpretation there. The latest release of the AJN had a small excerpt on it, clarifying the status.
Ms. Pope, you've had an opportunity to deal with this kind of thing with regard to the hospital. Why don't we just recommend that you as chairman investigate and see see what the situation is, because you have the kind of background that could understand what they're saying. I think Ms. Hammett has brought up a real good point here. I think that if they choose to, though I realize that they've said here in the letter that this is sufficient, but I think if they chose to press us later about this, they could. I think that's what the labor man said at that meeting. Up to 8 years or 10 years or something from
do we
now.
have a job description that's current on these people? I know we did at one time. It's,
We've got a little registry rules, little manual we have here.
possibly, if the board would like, I'll be happy to work with the chair of the committee and make an inquiry in writing so that we'll have some kind of protection and that they too will be protected. I mean, that's the purpose of the law, is to protect them, the workers. So, not just our protection, but the protection of the women in the registrar.
Does it need to be in the form of a motion?
If you'd like to make it such,
Then
that'll make us do it.
Oh, that's possible. I'd like to make a motion then, Mr. Chairman, and the,
Yes, I do.
I'll second it.
Registry committee.
Now, was that in reference to this new law that went into effect February the 1st, or something?
Yes, bringing that to our attention because the institution employs the private practice nurse.
And
Thus,
then
the
it-
institution employs the nurse. That this was is this correct?
That's
This
what-
has been my interpretation.
Well, see, you all are talking about the registrants.
Yes,
and
we're
not
talking
the
about the
registrar.
registrants at this point. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I understand what Mr. McLemore was talking about now. I didn't understand what he was saying, but I
You can
do
get a
now.
copy of the law out of GSNA if you all want it.
I might suggest to you all, I was fortunate enough to be in the NSA section, and I've even forgotten who our program chairman, but the gentleman was, I thought, most informative, Sister Ewing.
right there on my desk,
but I Yes. can't
remember
Mr. Reed.
Reed, that's right.
Mr. Reed,
The labor relations.
he spoke to the, hospital administrative group, and
That's the one
at
I
our last
attended.
NSA dinner meeting, there were 51 nurses there, and he spoke to those.
I went to the one that the hospital group.
Question and answer, it was very interesting and informative.
My thinking was that if the registrars, if there were just two of them, and they were each working 8 hours a day for 7 days a week, and if they came under the wage and hour law, then that would be, breaking the law.
Yes, we will be our law.
Unless we pay them overtime. Yes, time and a half, that's what I meant. Uh-huh.
Do you have a motion?
Comments? Got that. That's weird. Miss Buckbear's weird. She's used to it. Miss Hannah,
The board chairman, with the assistance of the chairman of the registry committee, make a written investigation regarding the status of the registrars with regard to the new labor law. Maren Hale, and seconded by Ms. Hasty. Is there question or discussion to this motion? And all in favor of this motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And the motion is carried. Edith, is that complete? Thank you. Advisory committee to the registry committee, Ms. Overton, to my knowledge, they have not met. Ms., you've had no...
No, I just talked to her a few minutes ago, and she, of course, is agreeable to anything that the group would like to do if they were directed.
Public relations, Maren Hale.
nothing to report at this point.
That goes with our law. It goes in the file. And all.
Except the parade, should mention that again. The St. Patrick's Day parade seems to be honoring the nurse practitioner, and many of the hospitals are taking part in this by having their star practitioner ride in the parade with the statements on the convertibles saying that these are their star practitioners. So, this will be the St. Patrick's Day celebration.
If you will recall, in January, Maren, if I might add to this, when I came to the board, this Mrs. Guy had conceived the idea that since this, I can't say it, the organization that sponsors the Yes, the Hibernian Society. Thank you, sister. Wish that this time to recognize nursing. They saw this as she is a member of this organization, to give some recognition to nursing, and also maybe some good publicity that these are good bedside nurses from these institutions that might serve for good publicity, and maybe even as recruitment. It seems that schools are out. We've had quite a few discussions. Mrs. Guy gets quite enthusiastic, and every time I talk to her, which is real frequently, she wants to do something else. This morning I had 2 frantic calls from her. Last week she sent me an invitation, and I tried to renege on it, and that I be on the reviewing stand and be honored on behalf of all of the nurses. And I realized I'd gotten into this, I'd backed into it. But this week, she realized that she'd invited the doctor's hospital at Tucker, which is the osteopathic hospital. However, their staff is made up of professional staff of nurses. And I tried to reassure her a little that I guess it didn't make any difference, but I will share this with you all. There may be a card from the doctor's hospital at Tucker, which is the osteopathic hospital. And the nurses have expressed an interest, and our executive secretary has been out there to talk to them about belonging to the professional organization.
It was beautifully managed. I was really surprised. I'd never been there before, and they have 16 graduates. Mrs. Perry is the new director, and I don't think I've been impressed as much recently by a person that I think will make a very valuable member of this association. She was definitely amazed that the members, the former director had been a member, but to my knowledge, none of the others. So she was all in favor of having all of them. They were having a personnel meeting that afternoon, and she was going to try to see that they got 100% membership. And I'm amazed at the surgery and the other divisions that they carry on. It's a beautiful hospital. I think you'd feel real proud to see it. I didn't know that they did all that much out there.
The point I'm trying to make to the members is that 5th District has not endorsed osteopathic medicine. That we've endorsed the 5th District professional nurses being in the parade. So this is why I'm bringing it to your attention. I think that you should have an understanding of this. And Mrs. Guy did contact the hospitals before we were ever contacted. And we stated that we would endorse it provided that it would be kept with dignity and this type of thing. Now, there's been some question about the nurses being in uniform. There's also been some question about the nurses being in evening apparel, formal apparel. I think this comes to being personal preference. However, at the time we discussed it, we talked in terms of the nurse being in uniform and being recognized as a nurse of the community. And as Marilyn, unless you know, I don't know.
We didn't give them a personal preference, and only one hospital that I know of is going to be informal, and they've been in the parade for 17 years and plan to be in another 17, and they've always been informal. So
Yes.
this is an established
Yes.
policy with them, but we didn't give anybody else a choice.
You talking about us?
I think it is y'all.
What, this is being discussed. We've been in it for 17 years, I know. Maybe we'll have
That's what they
coffee
told me.
issue.
So, but otherwise they'll be in uniform. We didn't give them a choice.
The publicity, I again asked Ms. Guy, would the publicity be directed that the organization is using this time to honor nursing, and that the publicity will be that these are outstanding nurses from the institutions. So she assures me that this will be, and all I have at this point is her assurance. But I've had so many communications with this lady, I don't know that we'll get there with communications in order. I can just assure you I've tried. Official publications, Ms. Wells?
Ms. Atkins tells me that from the 5th District, we have 14 subscriptions to the AJN for 1967. And in 1966, 88 subscriptions went in through the district, and for that, we received a check back in the district for $78 for new members. That was 50 cents per member, so there must have been twice 70.
No, let me may I clear you on that? That's the additional, the miscellaneous you heard a while ago was $78.05. It came from A&A for the members who renewed directly, because they give us all your punch cards and we do the clerical work. Then they give us 50 cents per member in addition to our 88 that went in there. We got our 50 cents off the 88 as we processed them. They sent in $3 and we sent in $2.50 for the subscription. But we did receive, for the ones renewing directly, the $78.05 at the end of the year.
So for the ones that send theirs directly to the
We
AJN,
still get 50
you still
cents.
get 50
You get it,
cents.
the first time you renew through us for $3, $2 less. And then thereafter, you go ahead and renew directly with them on the special card. We still get 50 cents. For the simple reason, they'll throw in several cards from Texas or Louisiana or some other place just to be sure you're checking them with your files, and other magazines like Gourmet and Outlook and some of the others. And it takes a little time to do it. So we do the clerical work in the office to ascertain that they are 5th District members. And for that, they give us 50 cents per person. So there were over 140, some odd you see that went in directly. 88 went through the district.
I see.
Thank you. That's an added source of income. We should encourage all of our people to.
We send them
Renew
this slip
through,
with that
yes.
card, and we distributed 10,000 subscription blanks.
Thank you, Ms. Wells. Ms. Atkins. Report of special committees, careers, Ms. Hammond, Ms. Mullins, I believe, has been in touch with you.
Yes, we have a meeting established for the 13th. There's been considerable work already on part of this.
Insurance, Ms. Fitzpatrick. Ms. Fitzpatrick, I've talked with her. I don't believe she's had a meeting. However, she was distressed about the fact that Mrs. Mason Tucker, Mrs. Tucker, had not gotten around to many of the areas while she was in the district. But we did get her, if you recall, to the last district meeting. And the meeting ran quite late. As a matter of fact, we had at the beginning of the second hour, we were running over time in the auditorium. And I looked for Mrs. Mason. I don't know whether she got to talk to any of the members or not, but she was invited and was introduced at the last regular meeting, which I did share with Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Committee on Professional Practice, Jackie Graves. Economic and General Welfare, Sister Lois Mary. Nursing and National Defense and Disaster, Ms. Alice Budd. We have, Carolyn has collected some materials for Mrs. Budd, and Mrs. Budd and her committee is meeting with the Red Cross Disaster Committee this Wednesday. So they're having their first meeting this Wednesday. report of sections, EACT, Ms. Mallory.
We had a first luncheon meeting at Grady, and I think we said the last time we had decided to try it at the noon time, and at Grady, because they had a place we could meet, it wouldn't cost so very much. And there was a large group of people at this meeting, and the program was to have a person who has a combined Department of Education and Service, and one who has an educational appointment, and one who has a nursing service, discuss how we can get nursing service goals and nursing educational goals more nearly together, primarily pertaining to the associate degree program. And we just ran out of time. We really got to talking and then didn't get on to the program as fast as we should have. But hopefully at the next meeting we'll be discussing even more in detail actually how we can do this thing. We kind of theorized at this meeting, and we'd like to see how nursing service can really utilize an associate degree person as she is educated to be utilized.
Thank you. Administrators, Ms. Rosecrans, Ms. Hale, you have the report.
I think we pretty much already discussed, we did have our February meeting, in which we had an excellent turnout, 50 members and guests, and the Labor Department, Mr. Reed came and spoke with us. And a great deal of interest was shown.
Thank you. General duty, Ms. Wood. Ms. Wood did not have a meeting. After I learned that she was not going to have a meeting, I wrote her a letter and asked her to call me and see. General duty was is so much involved in the labor law, new labor law, that I was going to help her maybe get a program meeting for general duty section. I've not heard from her as of yet, but I'll try to contact her again. This group has not met, I don't believe, this year, have they, Ms. Atkins? And I did write her a letter to see if I could help her get a meeting set up, because I believe she is stationed at Eggleston, and a number of the Eggleston administrative group came to the NSA dinner meeting. So I'll try to once again contact her. Occupational health, Ms. Langford.
We had our meeting set up in February with Dr. Joe Wilbur, our speaker at a dinner meeting, but if you may or may not recall, that was the day we had icy weather. So we had to cancel our plans, and we are planning our April meeting. But we were real disappointed, but we felt like we had no choice with the weather descending on us as it did.
Thank you. Public health, Mrs. Hasty.
I have to laugh at the remark about the weather, because we considered calling our meeting off that day because it started snowing, but I felt there's no way to reach the people. I felt I should be there, so I went on down, and I think we had the largest group we've ever had. I counted 60, but then people got out of the way and I couldn't count anymore. And I noticed, I don't know where you got the information, but it was in this little report that went around a while ago that Ms. English talked to us on economic security and general welfare, being chairman of this committee for the state public health section. And it was very interesting, and everybody enjoyed it a great deal. I guess they all decided they couldn't do home visiting, so they'd come to meetings. I don't know.
What time is your meeting held?
Same day, the 9th. What time?
Yes.
At 3:30.
Well,
Yeah, that makes a difference. Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Well, we felt the same way at 3:30. I didn't look for a
I was on
song.
at 3:30, but we were working until 5, so our meeting was set up for 6, and it was a dinner meeting, and we knew the ones who had made reservations,
Yeah.
so we were able to contact them.
I'll explain to her how they know in the report. When we get up a report, we take all of your meeting cards and try to give every one of you a nice little write-up.
Well, I thought maybe Ms. English called you and told you how well she did.
We had we had your meeting cards. And we try to give all our time.
Everybody did enjoy it though, she did a good job on it.
Thank you,
Miss Hasty.
I told you that day.
You know, they're always accusing me if you're the top man that you don't know what's going on. But I always tell my staff, there's always someone around wanting to tell you everything that's going on.
And more
So you stay
besides.
informed. Private duty, Mrs. Zerks.
At our meeting, we had Brigadier General Woodward from Civil Defense gave a very good talk, so he'd be glad to go to any other meeting if anybody wanted to invite him. And, at the next meeting, we had a request to have a program on perineal dialysis. And, they voted to hold the next meeting at Emory, and I think the lady who instructs out there is going to give that program. And, we have one recommendation to go to the bylaws committee. I don't know whether she sent it in yet or not, and that was that when they consider the rewrite of the bylaws, that private duty would prefer to have included about the registry, the wording that's in the bylaws, 5th District voted September the 13th, 1962, rather than what they're operating under now.
We haven't received that.
Well, she'll send it to
You have a recommendation
you. No, it
To the
goes,
board.
it's going to her, but I'm just telling you it is going to her.
to the bylaws.
We haven't
To the
gotten it yet.
bylaws. That one also brought up that Miss Daisy, that you read about, it was brought up again and discussed, and I told her that had already gone through.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Come now to the unfinished business, and the thing that I have on the agenda is to appoint a secretary. We have filled the vacancy that unexpired. Sister, you going to volunteer?
No, I had a suggestion. I would like to make a motion. I
Let
would
me
like
ask,
to nominate.
wait, just a minute. How do you wish to fill this? It is our responsibility to fill all vacancies on the board, except the vacancy occurring in the office of president or first vice president. So the board has the power to fill this vacancy.
I'd like to nominate Barry.
All right? We have a suggestion here to nominate and then
Vote.
vote. How about?
Not necessarily.
I see.
Just nominate
Somebody- she
and
has
vote.
somebody.
All right.
Did you
By
nominate?
yeas and nays.
You should
Can
say
we?
how to vote. There can be no,
Oh,
see, it's gonna be a
voice
vote unless
Yeah, voice vote.
unless you say
By
otherwise.
Nominate and vote by voice vote. All right.
that'd be all right with you.
Do we have nominations then, sister? I believe you did have when I,
Sarah Templeman, one of the supervisors at Crawford Law.
Sarah Templeman. All right. Are there other names?
I'd like to nominate Marion Hale. It's gonna be Democratic.
I'll second that. It has to be seconded.
Marion Hale.
We didn't have a second on there.
No,
we don't
have a
second.
We can just nominate until we have a motion to close.
I nominate Millie Burns.
Millie Burns.
Let me ask a question.
Yes.
These people have been nominated, does anybody know if they would serve?
No members?
No, if they
I
would serve.
confirmed the
Templeman?
sister that Miss Templeman
This one
was.
was.
I don't know,
Who was the second one?
three names, should it be a
She's just been
written,
reinstated in the last committee we asked her to serve, she told us her
a secret ballot?
activities were, do great. I think she's wonderful, very fine.
Did you write yours down?
You're not sure?
No, I
not-
would withdraw it from what Ms. Atkins said.
I move the nomination.
All right, did I recognize everyone before I got the motion? It was still open and I don't want to deny. Then we'll entertain the motion that nominations be closed. All in favor of closing of nominations, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Then the nominations are closed. And I believe we end with Ms. Templeman and Marianne Hale. You withdrew Ms. Burns. That's all right? Unless you wish to move back to a ballot, we will take the first one name and vote.
You want me to say okay and sign?
You want to put her hands up?
No, we're talking.
Like in school,
Yeah.
I'm not the sensitive type, but I'll go
May I
out and
say this, if she doesn't think she's qualified to be secretary, why should you
Well,
vote
the
for her?
president votes for himself.
So you stay right here and vote.
Oh.
If it would not cause her any embarrassment, we could have a secret ballot. It seems like some of them would like to have a secret ballot. Could we change what we've already decided or not?
If it's, if the.
To keep from embarrassing
Oh,
Ms.
she doesn't want you to go out.
No, she wants you to.
She wants you to vote for yourself.
No, she stays here and votes whether it's voice or secret. If she doesn't think, this is the point, everybody say, this is hold over from school, head down, all these things. But if she doesn't think she's qualified to be secretary, why should anybody in this room vote
If you
for
don't
her?
vote for yourself, who else gonna vote
Do
for
you
you?
see that?
Well, and she's a board member.
Boy, that's really putting you on the spot.
We have a.
To keep from embarrassing her, could we have a secret ballot?
If you wish
If
to.
you want to reconsider the vote on this motion and then
Could we,
change it.
do we have to make that as a motion?
To be legal, it should be
I move that we reconsider the,
vote on the
vote on the
motion that we
motion.
have. Voice, a nomination.
That we have a voice vote and that we have.
Now, wait a minute, you're gonna reconsider the vote.
This is plain. I move that we reconsider the vote by voice. Is that
You
right?
can reconsider the vote on this motion. I get to teach you.
I love it. Who seconded? Did you second it?
Could be debated.
Put your date.
We have a motion to reconsider the vote on the motion, which was that we vote by voice. Motion is seconded by Ms. Mays. Is there discussion or question? Now, we're voting to reconsider our previous vote of by voice vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Then the motion is carried.
And the motion before you is that you nominate and have a voice vote. This motion is back as it was. Now what you want to do is to amend the motion by striking out voice vote and inserting ballot.
I'm gonna Amend the motion and strike out Morrisville and that we vote by ballot. Well, you can only learn by doing.
And this requires a second. So you're back over here now. And this is all legal, this all goes in minutes.
Where we're working in the last,
We send a nice letter.
No, I just love to try something new.
we have the motion that we strike the word or out voice vote and that we vote by ballot.
Sir.
And insert.
Now we're adding and insert.
Sir. I don't see you striking out the voice vote.
Now the motion reads,
There's nothing like
Ms. English,
learning
if this
is
is correct,
keeping your mind alive.
if this is correct, the motion reads that we strike out voice vote and insert by ballot. Seconded by Ms. Mays. Is there discussion? And all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by saying no. And the motion is carried.
And it is amended. The question now is on the motion as amended that we nominate and vote by ballot.
Now, gotcha. Oh, you get it?
Yeah, I got it. But don't you ever do that again. Is it all clear now? No, take the vote. Got to take the vote on
Let's
that.
take the vote
On this
on
motion.
the motion as amended, that, we vote by ballot.
Have
Nominations and vote by ballot. Now, with discussion, or we're fixing to vote on, unless there is discussion.
Well, will we just write the name that we want?
You right,
That
there are two
we
people.
Yes. we just write-
fill this vacancy by the nominations and vote by ballot. Discussion? And all in favor of the motion as amended, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Then we're ready to vote by ballot. We have the nominations of Mrs. Sarah Templeman and Miss Marion Hale. Is this what you wish
Yes,
us to
ma'am.
use, sir?
I think this is big. You remember?
I guess you do.
It's all about that.
Every right.
Around.
Have every right to look. Do we need? Have a bag of one of those. You don't know about you. All right.
You vote in one day, I got a lot of scrap paper.
Y'all can count these if you pass them out, did you?
Stuff about.
Scrap paper fell off.
I'm just teasing. No, they have more than they hear, they know it's wrong.
Ms. Hasty, would you serve as chair of tellers? And, Ms. Well, would you serve as a teller, please?
Retire? I guess we better.
Will the tellers please collect the ballots?
Miss Wells, you wanna put yours? Anybody want?
Miss Salt.
Oh, we go
See, Ms. Lewis, we learned something last time.
I'll figure out.
Oh, this must be official.
But have,
Sure.
She really would get you if Miss Lewis went out to make a teller,
dare
to
you
make
to.
them, show them how to make out a teller's report.
Just She think I said it.
Yeah, she think you sound
We question it when she comes in.
No.
Mhm.
You gonna know anything else, you gonna wait.
We can talk about any other unfinished business if, those of you who have unfinished business bring before the members. I'll ask the tellers when they return if they had business to bring before the group. And we can, while we're waiting, discuss new business. The item that I had on the agenda, which I brought up at the beginning of the meeting, was that the Executive Secretary of GSNA did remind me that I could bring suggestions for ANA. That meeting is this Saturday. The GSNA board meeting is this Saturday. And I'm wondering if there are any of you who have suggestions or names for ANA ballot.
Maybe you know what offices.
Yes, the officers are for directors and for 3 commissions and members of the nominating committee. We, for information, last year, at the last ANA, we did have one of our own district members as a candidate for ANA director, Mayor Woody.
I'd like to nominate Mayor Woody for this time. Suggest her, I mean. I'd like to see this one.
For director?
She ran a good race. I think if she'd had the proper things done, well, she might have got it.
All right, we'll take that and a little later.
Are you ready?
Yes, we'll have the report of the tellers at this time.
There were 4 votes cast for Ms. Templeman, 9 for Ms. Hale, a total of 13.
We had 13 ballots.
I didn't vote.
Well, I don't know, but there are 13 here, and I got 13 there.
Ms. Hale received 9 votes, Ms. Templeman 4, so Ms. Hale will fill the vacancy of secretary.
You have to vote to destroy these. I move that the ballots be destroyed. I second the motion.
We have a motion that the ballots, and second that the ballots be destroyed. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Then the ballots will be destroyed as indicated. For the benefit of the tellers who are out, we had this for the unfinished business, the appointment of the secretary, and I opened the discussion for any old business from the members. Do Ms. Hasty, you or Ms. Wells have any old business unfinished business to bring to the members? There was none from the members present while you were off. Then new business, the suggested names for ANA ballot for the directors, for 3 commissions, and then members of the nominating committee. Ms. Atkins, I'll share this with you, and I were discussing, we had thought that, I know when I was chairman of NSA section, the section was invited to make recommendations, but I believe these have been omitted from our forms in the past.
they did them for the first 2 or 3 years that I was in office, from 1960 to 1963. And we have not had them on the form since then, but I see no reason why if they feel that they'd like to do that. But you must have them by the 11th. You must have them.
This was the indication. I don't know that, that the sections are denied this, but, I would say this, that, the board members that might talk with some of their, section, Miss, English has just mentioned the fact that Mary Woody, I mentioned that she was a candidate for director at our last A&A convention, and Miss English has said she would like to nominate her again for director, right, Miss English? I think it was the feeling of some of the NSA district that we would endorse her again from last convention. Are there others that you might think of?
And we used to
We've got
include
the
on our
commissions.
form, if they would serve on A&A, just ask them generally, if appointed, also for committees, and, in the old forms that we had to send out.
Well, may I ask a question? If you do discuss this with, I missed the date, with your section, when does this these suggestions have to be in? For A&A?
The board, the way that I knew that, or was reminded, was the board asked me to bring suggestions from the district. And, this is our first meeting that we've had since the board requested this.
So we won't have a section meeting now
No,
to get
but,
these in.
if there are suggestions that you all have, as, chair of your sections, if you would let me have these, I'll be happy to take them to the board meeting on Saturday. And,
Is that Saturday of this week?
yes, March 11th.
I'm lost. How many people
Don't
do
we
we
want to
need?
go
How
ahead
many
and put
can
Ms.
we-
Woody down here anyhow, on this board as being?
In fact, she has been suggested, yes. Yes, we have endorsement here.
Oh, well.
Are there special, in that AMA, are there special requirements now set up for, that these people must meet the educational,
commissions.
for the commissions? I'm almost
and-
sure there are, that we would need to consider when we put these people up. Just anybody can't do these things anymore, I don't believe, now I may be wrong, it seems I remember this.
What about directors?
Yeah.
Can you see that being a director?
I don't think so,
Well,
but
I was gonna
she's
nominate
got the
somebody,
bylaws
wasn't
there.
just
Am I,
anybody.
tell me, am I wrong? I think
Now, their
it's-
qualifications
their qualifications
established,
are very
for the commission.
well outlined.
Now, I'm not sure for the directors.
I think it is for directors too.
Yeah, just spell it out, I looked it up this morning, and I think they
Yeah.
still have time, and because they, I don't believe they prepare their ballot for January.
I don't have my copy here.
Before December the first.
That's why I say, I think we still have time in June, we have to have ours by June 1st. But we need them in the district by May 1st, because it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get them out. 70 or 80 numbers that we have, when you do not give us the addresses, it makes it very difficult there, particularly if they're out of the state. And,
You feel that if we get them from section by May?
I believe we could still submit them, it won't hurt. If they'd like to include them on there, because we have done it previously on our nominations.
Do you all, Miss Atkins has expressed that she feels that you can discuss this at your section meeting and still get the suggestions and submit them.
And it might be a good idea to check,
The bylaws
before you
first.
go, the qualifications that these people have, so you wouldn't waste.
Ms. Pope, am I not right in that the states, these names for A&A officers go in from the state executive board?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But if we bring them to the
And
May meeting,
Miss Woody's name did not go in from the state last year.
No, it did
It
not
went in
come
from
from our
another
state,
state.
it came
We
from
were,
another state, yes.
I guess late making the suggestion or something. Anyway, I called Miss Bobbin and it was too late when I called her, or it was not considered at that time.
Maybe when we wrote Tennessee.
Are they the ones who nominated?
One is Tennessee that nominated her.
Well, if you look in the minutes in there, you'll find that we frequently had this man from Pennsylvania down there on Fairbank playing about 3 years ago. That, some person, Miss Hudson knew, in 1963, that they endorsed him, I think, for one of the high offices there. Yeah, I find it quite in a hurry. But at any rate, we could still send Miss Woodies in, since we know that she qualified last go round. Would there be any reason why she wouldn't qualify this?
Not according to the bylaws as well as I recall. I think the commission, the academy, who belongs to the academy is spelled out qualification-wise.
Well,
And
it's the
possibly the
commissions too,
commissions.
but it doesn't say what
But
the
I do not
qualifications
believe,
are.
For.
It says as established by the board.
Yes.
But it says it in something that I've studied.
You're so smart.
You go back and look
I'll
on
have to
there.
go back and find it. 'Cause I remember
Go back on
of this thing.
Are there other suggestions?
Yes, I'd like to suggest Miss Barfield for her name to go in as a director. Now, whether she qualifies, I would think she would, but I don't know what the qualifications are.
I don't think they've been identified.
Well, this is a good time for us to find out if any Georgia nurses are qualified.
Yeah.
I think we got as good one as you have anywhere. And I think our fault is in not submitting our names in the proper way.
We do is to select one or two
That's right.
designated persons, and then get our call on them, and the cost of as many other persons.
This was our failure. It was almost embarrassing. We had a representative from our state, and she was endorsed by another state, and everybody was campaigning for their candidate. And here we're meeting Tennessee candidates campaigning for our delegate. And we tried to, those of us at convention tried to take up the cause, but it was too late.
That kind of campaigning really takes a lot of planning. We started about 2 days before the convention, but it went fast.
I think it's unfair to really name a candidate if you're not going, should they get on, if you aren't going to endorse them. I think it's unfair to the candidate,
I agree.
most inappropriate.
Convention, not for next year, so they got
Why
one
on our part to put two candidates up for the
in
election
Texas, and
from our state, because we will not have two runs from our state. There'll only be one, so we need to decide the person that we want to put up. And put one person from the state.
for each one of these, or just one person from
Well, I
the
mean, you've studied the ballots for the years. It's not likely the nominating committee on national level will have two nominees from the same state running for the same classification.
Oh, and I'd suggest we drop Miss Barfield's name in Hasty.
Yeah, for
Even though I
that,
like
yeah,
Miss
put it up for
Barfield,
something
I'd
else.
have,
Then
Would we
wish
put her
to-
up for another office, you think?
Tim,
If members don't get on the bandwagon, and maybe we could get Tennessee to get back on the bandwagon for Mary, and maybe we could,
Yeah, we nominate now this year, y'all help us.
y'all help us this
Yeah.
time.
I think the one thing here too is to be sure, the one in A&A, no nominee shall appear on the ballot if election to A&A Board of Directors could result in concurrent membership on the Board of Directors or other policy-making body of any other national nursing organization. Or could result in concurrent membership on A&A Board of Directors and A&A Commission. or the executive board of A&A, so that's to keep you from
Yeah, she's on.
putting the same
Doubling
person
up.
everywhere, you,
Just
I mean,
support
just
me.
having more and more and more.
Ms. Bobby, we have a vice president.
Mhm.
Vice President.
Yeah, I think she'd make a good one.
Now, on your directors here, the ticket shall be, oh, see, now I've got part of Jen's name written in here. So as to result in the election of directors, representatives of the occupational groups in nursing is defined by A&E, and your directors have to come from these different occupational groups. You see. So that's another thing you want to remember, which group they fit in. And you know those people there, and whether you have one stronger in this group or this other group that could defeat whoever somebody else may be putting up.
I would speak in favor of Ms. Woody as a very excellent candidate for election.
I would too.
She's knowledgeable, she has had a number of years of experience in organizational work. She's a practitioner, active off the battlefront. I think she's a high value agency.
She still made a good showing in spite of the late start.
Well, that's it, maybe you could just sort of add to that bandwagon this time.
Alright. Then unless I have other suggested names, then I will submit and endorse from this group Miss Woody's name for director. We could accept it as such.
Have more weight. This
Yes.
board is endorsing Woody and to a director.
Ms. Hammett, would you give us a motion so that I might take that as a motion that Ms. Mary Woody,
The other one is just gonna be you,
Members are nominated to consist of 3 members appointed by the Board of Directors, 4 members elected by the voting body,
I was going to word it.
as here in the
I
form
said, I
provided.
give it to them in writing,
Where
whether
they
it's regular and have the commissioner board copy on file.
This way, if they start to look back,
She's called on and
Well, I think, I don't lose
It
anything
can
in
take a lot
writing.
of meetings and having it in writing, but at the same time, it's supported.
I save every change of address. You'd be amazed to know how many little things come up after.
While we're waiting on Ms. Hammett to give this to us in the form of a motion, is there other new business?
I'm real interested in the status of the registry after March the 31st. We made provisions until March the 31st. We haven't done anything for after that. Will that just,
Miss,
they'll have until the 31st to really see what the score is.
Miss,
Is it the decision
well,
just to
if I
wait?
may speak to that, I was very concerned in providing a report to the committee, but I went back through the notes and talked with Carolyn. As you know, at the meeting on January, we sent each nurse each private duty nurse in the section a letter stating that the board unanimously supported that the nurses registry be maintained as long as funds are available. That statements be sent out immediately and a budget be established for the anticipated income of $14,300 based on private duty nurses' response to questionnaire of December '66. The services of the registry will be as broad as budget will permit. In the event funds are not available and operation of the registry is discontinued, the board voted on the motion to prorate all remaining funds and refund to registrants. Now, the members are joining the registry. At the registry committee meeting, it was established that approximately 6 months from March the 1st, enough funds were already in to continue operation of the registry for 6 months from March the 1st. This was a week ago, this past Tuesday, and I assume dues are continuing to come in. So we really won't know how many dues have come in until March 31st. But I too was sort of dangling, but I believe we have done about as much as we can until we see really how many funds and operate on what we've done in the information to date. Does this answer your question?
Does anybody want a card? We have some extra ones if you'd like for
These
your
cards
file.
were given to the all private.
So what I think of is if we way down on Alexis book on the salary, we have to, that would be the only thing, and I don't see any need to worry about it.
Until we know. All right, is there further questions or discussion? Then I have the motion to bring back to you that I move that the president of 5th District, Ms. Pope, place Ms. Mary Woody's name before the board of the GSNA as a director of the ANA board. Ms. Hammett, with second by Ms. Wells. Is there any further discussion about this? Then, if not, all in favor of this motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion is carried. And I had asked for additional new business. Is there other business?
I was just wondering about writing to Tennessee. Should we just do that unofficially, or, you know, since they were the ones that put Mary up last time, maybe if they thought that we were gonna help them this time, they'd do it again.
We'll wait till they,
Prepare their fine and appropriate letter and send it to many states. I think we have friends.
When we get it through the GSNA
Yes,
board.
yes.
Or we would have to wait till we got to the, okay.
Other comments?
They meet Saturday, we hope.
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
Do we have a second? Have a motion? Excuse me, I believe I did.
Question, will CPTC replaced as a member on the board?
She's not a member.
Representing Miss Hale, she's
she's in.
She represented Ms. Rosecrans. Ms.
Rosecrans, excuse me.
Ms. Rosecrans told me she'd be here next time.
Yes, she's coming.
I caught your eye before I had a second. We have a motion for adjournment with a second. All in favor of adjourning, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried.